And one of the things about the creative track that we're really looking forward to is to, encourage community around creativity and creative issues, but also to help provide the tools so that artists can build a more resilient and sustainable creative practice.
Hey, this is Nick Armstrong, and you are tuned into the Founded in FoCo podcast. Every episode, we get a chance to talk with people who are connecting our community in new and interesting ways, including the areas of creativity and entrepreneurship and nonprofit spaces and so many more. And we have two of our team members here for Founded in FoCo, which is coming up March of 2025. And they are so excited to tell you about the creative track, which is sort of a new endeavor for us, or a returning endeavor. Phil Donaldson and Karen Joy Fritz, welcome to the show.
Hey,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Why don't we have you introduce yourselves? Phil, you go first, and then we'll turn it over to Karen and talk about what Founded in FoCo means to you.
Okay, I'm Phil Donaldson. I'm one of the organizers. I've been a part of this whole Startup Week Founded in FoCo thing since around 2018. I helped to develop the nonprofit track and the build, what is now the Builder track, and now with Karen working on instituting the creative track.
I'm Karen Joy Fritz, and I graduated from corporate over 30 years ago. So I've had my own business here in Fort Collins for a long time, and I really felt like when Startup Week existed and now the Founded in FoCo, it's a place that I can come together with other people in this situation. And together, I felt like all of us small business owners could be a gorilla in the room. So that was my introduction to working with Founded in FoCo. And the truth is, one of the things that brings businesses to this area is the quality of life. And a lot of that is our art scene. So the idea of helping our artists, our creatives, to be more successful and sustainable on the business side really elevates the whole economic environment.
That's true. And with 68% of businesses in Northern Colorado having fewer than 9 employees, it's really impinging upon us to bring that educational resource and be that gorilla in the room when it's time to be the freelancers, the solopreneurs, the folks, the smaller nonprofits, and especially the creatives and artists that don't really have much of a voice outside of larger institutions like Bohemian or some of the music venues, the Lyric. So Phil, you were directly involved also with the amazing show that we had on Wednesday night of the 2024 Founded in FoCo, the FoCo Motown Revue.
Yeah, that was fun. That was great fun, and it was a great topper. And something to start that week, get that week moving. At the end of the day, people came and got their groove on that Wednesday night. It was fun. Yeah, that was a great time. And what was cool about it was that, it was a time to relax, a time to network, but also a local band was supported, in that, we got to do the show, and that was really great. And one of the things about the creative track that we're really looking forward to is to encourage community around creativity and creative issues, but also to help provide the tools so that artists can build a more resilient and sustainable creative practice.
Karen, tell me about your pathway into the creative track. You've obviously got some expertise in art and crafting and making things happen. Tell me about what does your work look like in that space?
I am a forever mediocre maker, and I just love making things, but I also love supporting other makers and the artists who do it professionally, right? I'm happy to get my paints out and slap some things down and express my energetic mood, but to also be able to support the people who do that for a living and the people who are in the various theater productions and the entire, the sculptures down in Loveland, all over northern Colorado. We have this. And I find that everywhere that I go, I can mention something of what I enjoy doing, whether it's the quote woodworking of renovating my RV, or, stringing some beads together, or knitting and joining a fiber group. It really is something that builds community here.
I was about to mention your RV. You don't, that's anyone who has seen photos of the before and after could not deign to call you a mediocre maker.
I say that, I work on a keyboard all day. I'm a geek, but my hands get hungry, right? I need that interactive with tangible, real world materials. And I think that helps bring balance.
So that brings you a kinship with artists and other makers.
Yeah, definitely.
What an interesting thing craft is, right? We have people in our community who wouldn't think of themselves as like quote unquote traditional creatives, right? People that are making art or out there designing sculptures, as you alluded to. But I would argue that the people that are graphic designers or copywriters or people who have sort of, podcasts, other things, interests that are of interest to them, design, website design, those types of things are all intrinsically creative and require creative thought, even down to the line of like strategy or curating meetings or figuring how people will connect with each other. What kind of tact did you both take when it came to looking at the panels that came in and sort of vetting what level of creative endeavor we were going to meet?
Oh, we had this bonus that Phil is really well connected in the music scene in town. So we actually went out and talked with the folks who support the music scene or support the other artists, from the Foundation Music School to the Loveland, what is it, Thompson Valley Arts League, and went and sat with these people and said, what is needed for our creatives to be financially and business sustainable? And as they talked about what they heard from the community, what was needed, every now and then they'd mention something, right? Like, and I did this talk once, and we're like, great, would you come do that again? So we got to really go out and directly encourage the people who are connected, whether it's at a local level or at the Colorado state level. Please come to Fort Collins and share your information with us. Would you say that's accurate, Phil?
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. And one plus of it is, and it's my hope, vision for the creative track is to build strategic relationships and partnerships with various arts-oriented, arts-focused organizations like Colorado Business Committee for the Arts and places like that.
The resourcing is such a team effort. And
Oh,
having
yeah.
people in the room, whether it's Fort Fund or whether it's Bohemian or whether it's any of these, like CAFTA, down to the artists, the lawyers that are representing the artists, knowing who's in the space is such a critical component of being a successful artist as a business.
Right. And one of the things that we heard over and over was that a lot of times the creatives feel lonely. And so part of what we're doing is bringing in these topics, whether they're ones that we've curated or other ones that local folks just saw the posting and put in, like how to write your book or how to negotiate a residency or something like that, that just they showed up. But by curating these topics that we're hoping will be useful to everybody, what we want to see is a room with the musicians in it, a room with the visual artists in it, so that they can connect with each other and realize they're not alone.
Yeah.
Yep. And also some of these sessions actually are they kind of are a little broader. They cross over to some of the other different tracks. So, a business builder person can go to a track that might be creative based, or a creative person might be able to go to the nonprofit track session and that kind of thing. So, we're hoping to be able to cross pollinate with some of these sessions as well.
Well, our theme is resiliency this year to making sure that people feel supported and connected in that way that you're talking about. And it's so important to have that time to network, even if you're in your creative mode. And if you're a creative warrior after hours, then it is so critical to have that and take that time to really go and network and engage in that way, and purposefully pick those choices. Are there panels that you are or sessions that you're super excited about this year that have made the cut and you want to share here?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Probably the one that we're going to think of as our kickoff is from Stefan Beckett, who's doing one on the creative ecosystem and recognizing that sense of mutual aid in the artistic landscape. So I'm loving that one. And then Phil also got Chris Webb, one of the founders of Musicians Tip Jar, to come in and do a talk. And frankly, this one on how to be a wealthy musician, where he's mapping it to rhythms, I'm going to be recommending that all the business people come in for this quote financial talk, because I think it's going to be a lot more fun.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. And those guys at the Musicians Tip Jar, I've been listening to their podcast, and have just been really impressed with the way they approach taking a business approach to to a creative practice, to in that case musicians. But we really want musicians, whether they see their practice as a business or not, to be able to adopt some business mindset, some form of a business practice, to be able to do things like protect their creative assets, to understand copyright and things like that.
yeah, we have Brian Hanning coming in to talk about that. And then to be able to get things out into the community, we have Madeline Boynton from the Gregory Alcar, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Gregory
Museum of
Alucard.
Art.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's coming in to talk about writing your artist statement, right? That when you see a piece of art on the wall and there's that little thing next to it that says, what the hell they were thinking, right? How to write one of those. Well, great, but you also have to have your artist statement on the back of your CD. You also have to have basically a bio if you're any kind of a speaker. So I'm thinking these are going to be useful throughout our entire community.
What a great
Exactly.
way to leverage existing skills, but in a new way. And artists have their own lingo. When they talk about business, they won't go to the like how to write your business bio courses. They'll go to a how do you write your artist statement instead. And it might be very similar information. And what's really interesting about having been involved for Founded in FoCo for so long, and I think we've talked about this as a team before, of this synergy between different tracks, that there are so many ways that you can overlap. There's AI talks, and there's things that are influencing AI in creative spaces. There's legal talks. There's legal that talks about production and how you manufacture something and keep protections on it. Manufacturing and design are all part of the same creative sphere as well. So no matter what type of business you're in, there's something to be gained from coming to Founded in FoCo. I'm curious, is there something that you are most excited to share with folks this year, or something that you're hoping that folks take away from Founded in FoCo and their participation this year?
I want, especially for the creative folks, to recognize how integral they are, right? That they are one of the things that makes for Northern Colorado what it is and brings that quality of living. And I think their opportunity to mingle with the business folks is going to really help them to recognize that they matter.
Yeah, yeah, we want them to just come out and help us to build community, be a part of the community, and as we go through the years, building the creative track, we're hoping that more people will come on to be a committee that will have the vision of building a community, not only just the creative community, but the overall Founded in FoCo business ecosystem. to be a part of that, to be exposed to it, to be able to learn how to network in it, and just to be able to learn how to thrive in it, just to thrive in it.
The pathway that you both described about, joining into some sessions and then coming onto the team and being invited in is very foundational to the premise of Founded in FoCo to begin with. It's ever evolving, and if there's things that you see that are missing that you are knowledgeable about, then you're always welcome to come in and share those things with our community. I want us to wrap up on something that is both hopeful and resilient for the listener for this podcast. I think Founded in FoCo, there's so many things to take away, so many things to do. If somebody is a first-time attendee to Founded in FoCo, or even just thinking about it, like they're kind of on the fence about coming in, what would you tell them?
Come and learn, and then come and network. Come and be a part of the community. It's founded in FoCo since its inception. It seems like every year has grown in some significant way. This year it will be, the addition of the creative track, but there've been other things throughout the year. So as more people learn about Founded in FoCo, to attend and also to become part of the organizing committee, to come help out, it's been really cool to see how the brand of Founded in FoCo has steadily grown.
I would say bring your curiosity, right? That's a number one skill for resiliency to begin with, but come and see what the talks are. You might wander into a room that's not the talk you were walking into. I've had that happen. And yet there was some golden nugget, like just one little thing that was like, oh, well, this is why I'm here. Or one person that I chatted with over lunch that just, uplifted my day, or I was able to uplift theirs. And I feel like just hearing all the cool stuff that's going on around here, I didn't know people were starting this and people were pursuing that and just doing all kinds of good. So it's a chance to really participate without having to feel like you're on the spot, right? It's just like, who's sitting in the chair next to me? What do we have in common? What craft do they like to do, right? What is their form of creativity? And feeling that sense of belonging and not being alone.
There's a term that Brian Eno coined. We have the concept of a genius, the one person who creates this big, wonderful, innovative thing. But Brian Eno is more about the scene, the creative scene. And so he coined the term scenius, that there's this collective genius. And that's the one word that defines this for me.
Founded in FoCo is very much team effort, and I have nothing but gratitude for both of you and your incredible efforts over the number of years that we've been working together. It's been a really thrilling journey to see how Founded in FoCo has evolved as a large result of people being in the room, and the two of you coming together to do incredible things, and now this amazing resource that we're hoping to bring to the community through the creative track. Make sure you check us out, Founded in FoCo, March 10th through 13th at the Fort Collins Senior Center. And we're primary programming days on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we're also going to have some cool kickoff things that'll happen on Monday and some things that might happen on Fridays, workshops and things like that in and around the community. So pay attention to the website for all the latest schedules and the ticketing, everything else that will go out. Sign up, put your email in there, and you'll get all of the latest and greatest right from our team. It is pay what you can. If you are a starving artist, which hopefully you won't be after the Founded in FoCo, the weekend Founded in FoCo, that's our goal, is to get you out of that mode. You will still be able to come and attend and hang out, even if it's for free. We do not care. We want you there. We want you in the room and connecting and hearing those one things that are important, being in the room, being a senior, being part of the community with us. So any closing words, Phil and Karen, that you want to leave a listener with?
Be there and grow with us.
Yeah, just be there with us. We want to see you there.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm Nick Armstrong, and this is a Founded in FoCo podcast. For more great interviews like this one, join us at foundedinfoco.com.